So these are some conceptual questions. Just try to answer. What is the answer? D. So answer is D. Present question, the answer is D. Now tell me the answer. A, B, C. तीन थोड़ी multiple answers थोड़ी हैं. Tell me only one answer. Why MSF? MSF is a demand-based thing. If the bank needs the money, then only they will go to the RBI and they will demand for this particular money. Marginal standing facility is what? It is only for the overnight purpose we have. Only for one night if they are facing some asset liability mismatch. Now what is asset liability mismatch? This is what you are borrowing. A and B, listen, A and B are depositing some funds to this bank, SBI, and SBI gave a loan to C. Now what is the asset of SBI? A, B or C? What is the asset of SBI? A or C? C, of course, because C is giving some return to SBI. A and B is the liability. That is why at the time of demonetization, the government was saying that 16 lakh crore or 14 lakh crore is in the market, and when you will not deposit or the black money holder will not deposit the funds, the liability of RBI will decrease, because whoever is depositing these funds, RBI has to return. Similarly, when RBI printed the currency, RBI is responsible to, उस पे लिखा नहीं होता, I want a promise to pay this and all. That is one. So A and B is the liability and this is the asset. Now suppose there becomes an asset liability mismatch problem. It means what? It means A and B deposited for 10 days and SBI gave a loan for 30 days. Now tell me, on the 11th day when A will come and will demand the money, what SBI will say? SBI cannot say, I cannot give you the funds. So SBI has to in emergency borrow. So now when you are borrowing in emergency, multiple options. One of the option is you can borrow from RBI. And when you are borrowing from RBI, again two options. कौन सा? Repo rate. And the second one is marginal standing facility. In case of repo rate, you have to give the government security. Now suppose SBI is not having any government security. कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास. फिर क्या करेगा? They will borrow through marginal standing facility, that is only up to 0.5% of NDTL. Unlimited नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि कितना borrow करना है कितना भी कर लो. Only up to certain level, and that too for this acute asset liability mismatch problem, RBI created this tool, marginal standing facility, and that is only for the overnight basis. But the question is fastest way to decrease money supply. A problem is कि unless and until SBI demands this fund, MSF तो है ही नहीं पिक्चर में. So this cannot be the fastest way. चला गया. Similarly, take the example of SLR, Statutory Liquidity Ratio. ये क्या होता है? वैल्यू नहीं होता, क्या है ये? It is certain amount of the assets that the bank needs to maintain with themselves. अब उस assets में क्या क्या आता है? एक कैश आ गया, ठीक है. वन इज कैश. सेकंड, वी हैव गवर्नमेंट अनएंकम्बर्ड गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी होता है कुछ, उसको भूल जाओ, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी. नेक्स्ट गोल्ड एंड फॉरेक्स. कैसे आएगा सर? फॉरेक्स तो आरबीआई रखेगा. और क्या आता है लास्ट? इक्विटीज. तो कैसे आएगा? इक्विटीज तो लाइबिलिटी है मेरी. SBI has to pay to shareholder. You are the owner. Bond, government security क्या होता है? Government security is bond only, a bond on which there is a stamp of government. That is what the bond is. Last we have is something known as excess reserves. सुना है कभी? CRR में एक्स्ट्रा होता है कि CRR फॉर एग्जाम्पल because CRR you have to, right now you have to maintain daily basis 95%. So CRR, usually they keep extra value of the CRR, because CRR they have to deposit. If this is CRR, so ये कट गया, this much amount they have to deposit with RBI, so ये extra यहाँ पे आ गया. So rather than doing a daily transaction, they keep some cushion, some extra. So if CRR value is 40 rupees, so they will keep as 44 or 45 rupees. So this extra 5 rupees is with the RBI, but considered as a part of the SLR of the bank. So if the question is SLR is always kept by the bank with themselves, is a wrong statement. It is not always. In general, SLR is kept by banks is a right statement, but it is not always, because the fourth component, that is excess reserve, is being maintained with RBI, an extra component of the CRR. Anyways, we'll not go into detail, but again SLR के case में RBI cannot dictate in which form they want to keep this. They can maintain in the form of cash, government security, gold or something. So again, this is not the fastest way. This is not the fastest way. Fastest is only CRR, because here you have to take away, RBI snatches the cash from the banks and maintain with themselves. So the liquidity in the economy will decrease the fastest way. Then we have second question. Second question answer is? Anybody with me saying A, B, C, D? Trust the faculty, the answer is D. Now tell me why D? What do you mean by open market operations?
RBI sell the government securities on behalf of the government into the market to absorb the extra money.
ठीक है. Is buying or selling of government security is known as open market operation. In 2013 they asked this question. Now tell me why you have to pay interest to the bank when you take a loan, or why banks give you some interest when you deposit the FD with the bank. What is the reason? Because there is a buyback commitment is there. Because whenever you are depositing the FD, there is a maturity period. After 6 months I will take back this cash. But in case of open market operation, when I'm going to sell this particular pen to her, it means no buyback commitment is there. It means no concept of interest rate in open market operation. There is no concept of interest rate in open market operation. This is just buying and selling of the bonds is there. But if there is only buying and selling of bonds, why she is going to purchase the bond? उसको क्या मिलेगा?
Stability.
Sorry?
Stability.
उसको क्या लेना स्टेबिलिटी इकोनॉमी में है नहीं है. What she will get is known as the, because these bonds are being issued at some discounted value. It means if the value of this bond is 100 rupees, at present its discounted value will be 90 rupees. So at the time of maturity she will get 10 extra rupees. But there is no concept of interest rate in open market operations, because there is no buyback commitment under this. Next question. Third. Finish हुआ? Anybody with me saying A? A? What do you mean by budget? Budget is I am the government, this is what my receipt part, this is what my expenditure part is. So this is only related to the government expenditure and receipt. When Walmart is investing something in India, that comes under the balance of payment part and not the budget component is in India. So first bini, second bini, third bini and only the fourth one. None of the above. Next question. पल्लवी, अभी तक ये ट्रेंड नहीं देख में आया कि सबका आंसर फोर्थ है, तो रिस्क लगा लेते हैं. सो द आंसर इज डी. नाउ यू हैव टू जस्टिफाई मी हाउ, बिकॉज द क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग एसोसिएटेड. The question is not related to the reason, they are asking associated. So this is the reason of higher inflation is because of high value of effective demand, and when there will be very high inflation, the consequence will be lower value of effective demand in there. अब technical details में नहीं जाते. Demand is of two types, but this is what the simple on the face value is. It one is the reason, this is the reason, and this is the consequence, and the question is asking about associated. So this will lead to high inflation. Once there will be very high inflation, this will be the final consequence, and the question is about the associated. ये already UPSC asked this particular question. This is the question from UPSC only. Then we have next question. अब इसमें हो गया, आंसर तो पहले ही फिक्स है, 1, 2 and 4. You just have to justify me. Sorry. Why not 3? Depreciation of rupee means what? It means extra supply of rupee. That is what? Rupee becomes cheap. Too much supply of onion in the economy means decreasing the value of economy. This is what the depreciation of rupee means. उसके बाद समझो. First is the restricting the imports, correct है. The second one is contractionary monetary policy, वो remove कर दोगे, correct है. The third one is rupee devaluation with respect to dollar, and the fourth one is foreign capital inflows. First, second, fourth तो सही है. Why not third?
All third are reasons for rupee devaluation.
Because depreciation of rupee can be controlled by, in the economy when there is depreciation there cannot be devaluation. In both these things the price decreases, but devaluation means rupee depreciations, decrease in rupee value by the government, and depreciation means by the market forces. So unless and until there is depreciation there cannot be devaluation, and when there is devaluation there cannot be depreciation in the economy. बाद में देखेंगे 5 types of currency exchange क्या होता है. Next, now this question they asked in 2013 as per the liquid assets. So first of all you need to understand what do you mean by liquid or liquidity. वो वाला liquid नहीं है. कौन सी मूवी है वो? प्यार का पंचनामा. बोलो what do you mean by liquidity? पहले तो ये बताओ.
Which are not net time and which are not for long term.
Two definitions of liquidity. First is there is very high liquidity in the economy. It means the total money supply in the economy is regarded as liquidity. Second definition of liquidity, or we say this is liquid assets, or liquidity of cash is more, liquidity of gold is more. It means how easily you can convert into some other asset with minimum loss of time and value. What you said. So cash is having very high liquidity because accepted by all. Gold is having relatively less liquidity than cash. Similarly, we have assets like land. Land will be having some liquidity. A vehicle will be having some liquidity. Government bonds will be having some liquidity. So this is what the question is. Consider the following liquid assets. Demand deposits, time deposits, saving deposits with the banks and the currency. Now decreasing order of their liquidity. This demand deposit means savings अलग है. Demand deposits and time deposits. You are depositing your time, FD. This is we have the current account. In savings we have both. Can a bank manager say no to you when you want to withdraw the money? No. Of course, yes. As per the RBI Act, if you want to withdraw more than 1 lakh rupees, you should inform the bank manager one night before. This is what as per the government rule is. So of course after 1 lakh rupees, the bank manager can say, sir, this is what the loss is. I will not give you 1 lakh, above 1 lakh rupees. So of course within 1 lakh no constraint, after 1 lakh constraint. So it is having both. Relatively in between liquidity is there. So now decreasing order, tell me the answer. Fourth, 4132, simple. In detail we'll discuss in the class. And the last question. This again the question of 2013. अब इसका आंसर डी नहीं है. Inflation benefits the debtor and inflation benefits the bond holders. Answer is A. So suppose SBI is there and A is there. A deposited some funds, 100 rupees to SBI. In return, SBI gave a piece of paper on which it is written. Bond usually gives you types of securities में देखेंगे. We have bond, we have equity or we have shares. Now bonds can be issued by government, T-bills, GSEC and all. Bonds can be issued by the private entities known as debentures. Now bonds can be issued by banks known as FD. Bond कुछ नहीं होता. Bond में ये होता है, a piece of paper is written, please give me 100 rupees, I'll give you 8 to 10% of interest rate. अब जिसका स्टैंप होगा वो इशू कर देगा. प्राइवेट कंपनी होगा तो डिबेंचर हो जाएगा, बैंक ने किया तो एफडी हो जाएगा, गवर्नमेंट ने किया तो गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी हो जाएगा. गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज के एग्जांपल किसान विकास पत्र, नेशनल सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट, ऑल दीज आर द बॉन्ड्स इशूड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. सो इन रिटर्न एसबीआई इज गिविंग यू समथिंग दैट इज नोन एज एफडी. ठीक है. व्हेन ए डिपॉजिटेड, नाउ सपोज देयर इज इन्फ्लेशन ऑफ 5% एंड एसबीआई इज गिविंग यू 10% ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रेट. ये बेसिक समझ लो. A deposited 100 rupees with SBI at the rate of 10% interest rate and there is inflation of 5%. So in 2016 this transaction happened. In 2017 how much SBI will return? 110. But problem is last year what was the value of 100 rupees? Now it became 105 rupees. So the real rate of interest एक concept होता है which becomes nominal minus inflation. So right now the real rate of interest becomes 10 minus 5 becomes 5. So although on the face value SBI gave you 110 rupees, but the things which you can bought from this 110 is not what was last year because there is an inflation of 5%. Now in this case who is debtor and who is borrower? Who is debtor and who is bond holder? SBI is in debt. So SBI is debtor and bond किसके पास है? FD is being held by the bank A, so it is known as bond holder. अब किसको प्रॉफिट हुआ और किसको नुकसान हुआ? सिंपल है. A को लॉस हो रहा है because rather than getting 115 rupees 10% इंटरेस्ट नहीं मिला, only 5% मिला. And SBI को profit है because there is inflation in the economy. Simple question. One only.